Hey guys, welcome back to AFK Journey. In today's video, I want to have a bit of speculation around the roster of characters that I think will be coming out in this entire season for the whole second season. On screen, I've got every character that we obtained through the first season, and based on over here with this talk with designers, we can gauge how many characters we think there will be, and from the trailer and other information that we have, I think I've gone and pieced together what I think the upcoming roster for the entire season will be, give or take a couple. There could be one extra, two extra, you know, one of these may be wrong, but I think we've got a pretty solid foundation to guess what the roster is going to look like. So if you do want to save your heroes, just note that this isn't 100%, this is a bit speculation based on the trailer. There are 3 absolutely confirmed, and the rest you know, I'm feeling pretty confident about. Some of them I'll let you guys know as we go, which ones I'm not so confident about. But like I said, for the first season that we had, obviously this is not including like Florabelle and Vala, because they were pre-season, so this is only going through the season. And over here in these patch notes, in these dev notes that we had a fairly long time ago, they do state that each season will last for 4 months, have 7 to 8 heroes of the 4 factions, and 2 to 3 heroes from the Celestial Hypogean. So that's what we're going to be basing this heavily off of. Once again, this one covered that. We had 7 of the normal factions, and then we had 2 Celestial Hypogeans. Now over here, take note, we did have no Lightbearers, and we only had the 1 Graveborn, whereas we had 3 Wilders and 3 Molders. So I am expecting the next season to be very heavily tilted towards Lightbearers and Graveborn, which we are kind of already seeing based on what we've had in the trailer. So let's jump across into it and take a look, and I'm going to walk you guys through my reasoning and what I think is going to happen. So if we jump over to this one over here, if I can find where my mouse is. All right, so first up, we have had in the little pre-season document that they released, they did basically show us these 3 characters as being playable characters. So we've got the Celestial, I can't remember old man's name, but he looks like an absolute savage. We've got him, we've got Nara, and we've got what's his name? Dude, I can't even remember this guy's name. But the A-level Lightbearer, Sinbad, I think that's what it was. So the way I think this will go is, if they've already announced the Celestial, keep in mind the way they normally do it is 3 weekly banners, but then Celestials and Hypogeans like weren't really obeying that, like they weren't in the gaps. But lately we have had some 2-week banners, so I really don't know exactly how they're going to pan out the actual releasing and the pacing of these characters. Obviously it's over 4 months, so they need to spread them out to some degree, unless they ramp it up and they actually go more than the 7 to 8 standard faction heroes. So we'll have to wait and see. I really don't know, but that is just, we'll have to wait and see. Essentially, I think the first banner is going to be Nara. You don't kick off a new season with an A-level, and I know they put out another dev notes that said, you know, it's different, A-levels are still strong. I'm sorry, there is just not... I just think there's just not much excitement about an A-level banner as there is around an S-level. However they wanted to design it, I just... That's me personally. Let me know if you guys are different, if you get more excited for seeing A-levels. And I know so there's going to be people say, oh, it depends on the power level here. I know, but if an A-level and an S-level have the same power level, I get more excited about the S-level. I'm sorry, I can't help it. But I do think Nara will definitely be the first one. And then Sinbad will be the second banner. Now, once again, I'm assuming old mate here will be in the first 3 characters that we get, but I don't know whether he'll be like, you know, an in-between one, or, you know, we'll get Sinbad a week later, we get him, and then we, you know, keep on the 4-faction rotation, because like I said, the Celestials and Hypogeans were like, they were kind of off sequence with the rotation. They weren't part of the rotation. They were just the add-ins last time when we had Freyasto and Taylene. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. Now, as we move on from past that, I do think we will have 1 Wilder. I think if Maulers, maybe we won't have any. But the reason I think we will have at least 1 Wilder is because if we go over here, I think that we have to have Tassie. Tassie was in the trailer. And I just think if Tassie's in the trailer, she's probably going to be a key part of it, and she gives us a clean little Wilder to go ahead and slap in. So that is Tassie from AFK Arena. Essentially just a control-based unit is basically what she does. Her ultimate puts everyone to sleep, and then she also has an ability that banishes one character from the battlefield. So I definitely think Tassie will be one that comes in. I think she will be a great AFK stage and possibly PvP in the current state, depending on how they implement her. Once again, she's not going to be the exact same as AFK Arena, but I do think she could have some usefulness there. But I think AFK Stages is going to be her main place. If they do her sort of true to what she is in AFK Arena, we will have to wait and see. So that is Tassie as the first one, I think, coming as a Wilder. Now, I've got no Maulers here. I don't see a continuity for a Mauler. Yes, they could slap one in, kind of like Ludovic came in and he made no sense. But, you know, I'm going based off of everything we've seen. So the next one that I'm going to slap in here that I definitely think is going to be one is going to be this one over here, which is Sonya. Sonya's like the main character along with Nara in this whole storyline. If we don't get Sonya, that's just an absolute outrage. So I definitely think Sonya will be another Lightbearer that we get along the way. She just makes complete sense. She's in the trailer. She's like the leader in the trailer. So I don't see how she doesn't get a Guernsey as being a playable character. So once again, I made a whole video talking about some of her skills. If you want to go check that one out. But Sonya, I definitely think is going to be another Lightbearer that comes into the fray. Now, moving on from that, the next one is pretty self-explanatory as well. I think everyone can agree on this one, and that is going to be Hypogean. Hypogean is like the main Graveborn dude. He's the captain of the ship. It looks like Nara has left Rustport. She's somewhere along the line got onto Hypogean's crew, and now she's come back and now they're at war. But Hypogean is the captain. I really hope he's a summoner and summons an entire crew on the battlefield. It would be absolutely epic. I don't know, that's just my dream with him. It would just make me so happy because he's done so well in this game. I love the way they've pieced him together and done his graphics. So that is Hypogean. I definitely think he's going to be another Graveborn that we go ahead and get. Now, as we move on from that, let's go into Celestial, to the Hypogeans. Now, Hypogeans, I've put two here, and I'll go through my reasoning. The first one is Lucilla. Now, Lucilla is based purely on the fact that we had that JP promotion where it showed some legs of characters, and her legs were in there. I am starting to believe that that will not be the case, and she is not in here, and they were just looking for some character legs to go ahead and promote to the JP over a bit of a thirst trap, essentially. The reason being is because they also had Cecilia in there, and she is a Lightbearer. She hasn't appeared in anything, and I think we've already got plenty more Lightbearer characters to choose from the trailer that could be Lightbearers in this season, and I don't think Cecilia's going to be in it. So I think that was just a bit of a bait. That was a bit of just a promotion, get any legs that they could from AFK Arena characters and put them into promotion. That's what I think that one is. So the other option I have here is going to be Aziz. Aziz, because his story is kind of tied into Tassie's. I'm not the biggest lore guy in AFK Arena, so, you know, I could be wrong on this take, but I think Aziz has that tied in storyline to do with the dreamscape and all that. I'm not completely across it, but I know when there's Tassie, Aziz has some sort of correlation to it. Besides that, it could just be a completely new Hypogean. I'm not too sure. Or we could get two. We could get, once again, they say 2 to 3 Celestial Hypogeans, so we could be getting 2 Celestials or 2 Hypogeans. But if I had to guess on a character that I think could be one of them, I think Aziz is my most likely scenario. Otherwise, I would really love to get another just new Hypogean that we haven't seen in AFK Arena. That would be pretty cool as well. But those are my guesses if I had to have a couple guesses. Moving on from that into the next Graveborn slot, I don't think there's no way we don't get this chick. This chick's too cool. Her design is too well polished for her not to be in the game. I don't know what her name is. I don't know what she does. I just think her as female Pharrell from AFK Arena, and she's an archer and she's a Graveborn and she's cool. That's pretty much all I need to it. You know, we've got Lily Mae with crossbows. We get her with a bow. I'm going to be pretty happy with that. So that I think Hypogean is a guaranteed to be a playable character. I think she is less guaranteed than Hypogean, but still, I think when we look at everything we've seen so far, she is a pretty solid bet to be a Graveborn playable character. Then the final one from the Lightbearers. Now, this one, let me know if you guys agree or disagree with this, but I'm going for the Dwarf. Now, the reason I am going for the Dwarf over here is purely because of this. At the end of the trailer, they give us this end screen. Now, with this type of end screen, I feel like you're putting the main characters on the end screen. Now, obviously, we don't have an R or anything like that, but like when we look at it, we've got Hypogean, who's like the big bad guy, or like posed as that. We've got Sonya, who is like the big, you know, person like at war with Hypogean by the sounds of it. We've got Sinbad, who's I don't know, just a dude, and he's the main part, and then we got this Dwarf. I'm thinking we got to get the dwarf. If he's good enough to be on the end screen, above Nara, above Tassie, above the MC, like the main character Merlin, I think he's got what it takes to be a playable character. And when I look at him, I think Lightbearer. Ain't no way he's going to be a Mauler, Wilder, Graveborn. Maybe he's a big Celestial, but he hasn't got enough white in his kit, even though he's wearing a white shirt. So I'm tipping Lightbearer for that guy. And that is why I think that is going to be our end roster for it. Now, I am pretty happy with my Graveborn, Wilder, and Lightbearer selections. Obviously, our Celestial is confirmed. I'm really hazy on the Hypogean. Once again, I'm not very confident in that at all. I think most likely it could be as is, but I'm kind of hoping it's just a completely different hero altogether. And keep in mind, I've only listed 7 full factions, and essentially I'm accounting for 2 Celestial Hypogeans. We could have an additional 4 faction character in there, and we could have an additional Celestial Hypogean as well. Plus maybe they might change it up from what they originally said. And keep in mind, some of these may not be confirmed, but they may not be in there, and it could be something different. But that is my inkling based on everything we've seen on the roster I think we're going to get for the entire season. Let me know your guys' thoughts. Once again, this is just a bit of fun while we wait for the season because I'm hanging out for it. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing the next one. Cheers.